I truly love power hammers, and ever since I started forging in my backyard a few years ago, I have been dreaming about owning a power hammer just like this. To me, a power hammer is almost like driving a really cool old car or playing a rare 1950s Fender Precision bass. It truly gets my blood going. However, if you take a look at my videos for the past year or so, you will notice that I rarely use it. Now, why is that? Some people argue that it's not historically accurate to use a power hammer. Others argue that it takes away from the artistic side, that it's not forging by hand anymore. And others believe that it's pure cheating to use a power hammer. First off, none of those are the reason why I don't use my power hammer. However, I hear these arguments from time to time, so I wanted to share some of my thoughts on the topics. So what exactly do we mean when we say historically accurate? What time period are we talking about? Also, are we talking techniques, material, tools, the whole shebang? Then I am definitely not historically accurate. While I have reenacted a few times and enjoyed it, I should add, it is not the focus of what I do. My goal and what I'm trying to do is to look at different techniques, new and old, and understand how they work and for what reason. You could simply say that I'm a modern blacksmith trying to understand and learn the wisdom gained by the great men and women that came before me. Now that's what truly inspires me. Now what about the cheating part and it not being done by hand anymore if you're using a power hammer? Now I'm going to be blunt here, so please understand that this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me at all. We can still be friends, I promise. But I genuinely wonder if a person who says these things has ever tried forging with a power hammer, because that's not my experience at all. First off, it's not like you can take a block of steel and put it on the anvil of the power hammer and just press the pedal and out comes an axe. To me, the techniques of using a power hammer rather reminds me of forging with a striker. I had the pleasure a few months ago to have my friend Torbjörn over as a striker here in my shop, and I was blown away about the speed, the effectiveness and the precision of the whole process. And in many cases it was a lot smoother and faster than working with the power hammer. Now don't get me wrong, the power hammer steamrolls when it comes to certain things, but it lacks the versatility that a striker can have. While the power hammer is restricted by tooling and dies that you have to change and adapt it depending on what you're trying to do, the striker can, in real time during a heat, adapt and adjust the position of the hammer blows to suit what is required. So in my opinion, you should see the power hammer as a tool, a very fun tool. And depending on what your goal is, the power hammer can help you make things faster. And therefore, in some cases, it can help you make more money. So why don't I use my power hammer? Well, the real reason why I don't use my power hammer is that I'm actually trying to make a point. And the point that I'm trying to make is that you actually can make cool stuff without it. You see, I have many times encountered comments like, oh, that's easy for you because you have all those fancy tools, or I can't do that because of this, that, and the other. But you see, I wasn't born with these tools. They were not given to me. I started just like everybody else, standing outside in the rain and the snow with an old beat-up barbecue grill, a dirt cheap hammer from the local hardware store, a small block of steel as an anvil, and I also stole my sister's old hairdryer as an air supply, but more on that in another video. But you see, it wasn't about the tools at all. It was all about the doing. I wanted to do blacksmithing, so I tried my best to figure out a way to do it. And I also started by watching YouTube videos, and many of those YouTube videos had power hammers in them, and that did not discourage me at all. If anything, it encouraged me because I wanted one of those as well. So that meant I now had a clear goal in mind. I want one of those really cool machines. And with that goal in mind, I had something to aim towards and something to strive towards. And I think it also should be said that many of the actions performed by a power hammer can be translated into working with a regular hammer. In the end, you're still just moving material in different directions. And yes, it sucked standing outside in the rain and the snow, but you know what? The forging part was way more fun than the rain and the snow was irritating. So if you are really interested, ask yourself what's really standing in the way of you becoming a blacksmith. Is it the tools required? Or is it in fact you? Now I know that there are real circumstances out there and challenges to get around. That's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm really talking about is the spirit of envy and resentment. So that's the reason why I do what I do. I want to share this wonderful ancient craft that has given me so much joy through the years. And I want to inspire people to work with their hands, because I believe that it's good for you. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.